right, so I know everybody was a little worried that they released the video and then they didn't, the same day, spoil the cards. Everybody's freaking out, but we got Lee Sin. It's a thing. It's happening, okay? And honestly, oh my God, again, they nailed it with the champion design. It's exactly like the gameplay from League of Legends, so awesome to see. And obviously, you guys can see as well, it's like blank behind me. This is kind of weird filming right now. This is going to be either the second to last or last video probably that I film here. So hopefully this weekend, I'm going to be casting another tournament, Jam Fest, and hopefully I will be casting that from the comfort of my new home. So if you guys are returning, welcome back. If you're new, my name is Justin, also known as Shit Just Works, and we are getting into some Lee Sin action. Alright, so I will say this is going to be a little bit of a shorter video in terms of a reveal because it looks like today, anyways, they only revealed 4 cards, okay? They did reveal Lee Sin. That's the big kicker. That's what really matters. And his champion spell, which is awesome. But they did not release the usual accompanying region cards. They only had actually one additional card to go with the Ionia region. So I'm curious as to why that is. I don't know, but we got 4 new cards, so let's hop into them. So as always, gonna save the best for last. And first up is going to be Claws of the Dragon. And this is a 2 cost, 3 attack, 2 health follower. And essentially, when you play 2 spells from your hand on the same turn, this puppy gets summoned. So it essentially becomes a 0 cost 3/2, which is pretty good. We have the likes of Ravenous Butcher, which is sacrifice a unit to play for 0 mana. So that's another, tempo 3/2 that we currently have that you kind of compare this card to. In this case, it's wanting you to play 2 spells. So typically, this isn't really going to allow you to play this card on turn 1 or 2 or maybe even 3. Pretty reliably, you'll probably end up playing this on turn 4 or later in the game. With that said, I don't know how useful a 3/2 body is later in the game when this is actually going to get the effect off. We'll see. Again, I don't know what other cards are going to come out with this set that might interact with this. This does go along the same lines of Lee Sin. So you're going to see Lee Sin's effect in a second. And it also has to do with playing spells from your hand. So pretty cool that they have some supporting cast cards in there. And I'm curious to see if they're going to have any other followers that have similar effects like this. All right, so to get into the champion spell for Lee Sin, which we need to understand before we understand his effect, we got Dragon's Rage, which is a 7 cost slow champion spell. This is one of the larger champion spells in comparison to something like Judgment, which is 8 cost. An ally strikes an enemy and their nexus, and if the enemy does not die, it recalls it. So essentially, you are always getting a Will of Ionia with this, card, right? So for 7 cost. So that's Will of Ionia is usually valued at 4. On top of that, you are also doing damage to their nexus. So if you have anything on field, there's 3 mana left over from the 4 cost for Will of Ionia. If you have anything on field with like a 3 or 4 attack, you're already getting, pretty much the 7 mana's worth of the card. If you have something bigger than that, this card becomes amazing. Now you are not Will of Ionia-ing. You are destroying a unit and then also dealing damage to their nexus. So now you compare that to something like Vengeance, which costs 7 right off the rip. You're also getting the damage to your opponent's nexus. So it does require you to obviously have some pieces in place on the field, but I think overall this card is superb. Well, hold up. Before we get into Lee Sin, if you're new, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. And as always, if you like the video, if you think it's pretty cool, hit the like button. Appreciate the support. All right, so we finally have Lee Sin. We have, oh man, it just feels so much like Lee Sin. So we have a 6 cost, 3 attack, 6 health champion. So right there, pretty good stats. Again, on par with like Thresh's stat line. When you play 1 spell, he gets Challenger. So he does not come with Challenger like Thresh would. He gets it after you play a spell. But if you play a second spell, he gets Barrier for that turn. I do think it should say if you cast another spell this round. I don't know. I mean, we all kind of know what the idea of the effect is. I just think it might need to get some text clarification in the future. But otherwise, I think this is a great card. Leveling up, 7 spells need to be played. That is a pretty easy effect or a pretty easy level up to hit. It is also a level up that can occur in your hand, in your deck, on the field, wherever Lee Sin may be. So it's a good chance by the time you draw Lee Sin, he's probably already going to be leveled up. Now, his level up is absolutely bonkers. He does gain an additional attack and health. But now, that card that we just went over, his champion spell, he does that every single time he challenges an enemy. Now, here's my question with this, and I'm not positive how it works. So if you know how it works, definitely comment below. I would appreciate it. When he challenges a unit or another enemy follower, I'm not sure if he's striking it with Dragon's Rage and then also striking again for his normal strike, or if his normal strike is just like converted into a Dragon's Rage. So there's a lot of interaction questions here with how Lee Sin's going to work. Obviously, the second we get our hands on him, we're going to know 100%. So very much looking forward to actually playing with Lee Sin to see how some of these interactions work. But overall, that means you are going to have a monster of a champion on the field that's always going to be threatening your opponent's Nexus. And at any moment, you could be, dealing 4 damage to their Nexus on an attack, and that's crazy, especially considering, depends on what deck you play, but you are constantly going to have a kill threat on the field for that turn. And that's it. Again, kind of disappointed. We only got 4 cards this time around, but hey, we'll make do. What I am excited for, though, is now we are approaching, finally, the region reveal. I am hoping it's Bilgewater again. I keep wanting to say Bridgewater. Hoping it's Bilgewater again. So we'll see what happens when the next video comes out. Hopefully it's this weekend. Hopefully it's tomorrow maybe. I don't know. But very much looking forward to that. So until next time, everybody, stay healthy, stay positive. I hope shit just works for you, and peace out.